Yo, what's shaking AC?
Hey, I noticed you have your hair styled, so you can't do that thing like last week where you turned into like Ed Sheeran or Blur or Blink 182 or whatever that was.
No, today I decided to go for the squeaky clean. I just got out of the shower look.
Okay, well, if anybody wants to see something really funny, look at the rant from last week, just the first minute. The rest of it's just us babbling away, but your hair went really funny. So anyway, okay, well, so you're a whole different man today. Got it.
I guess so. I guess so. Have you closed your doors? So there's no
Oh,
racket.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I think you're referring to when I sometimes have the door open and just the back patio door, and the big truck goes by and it's like bang. I'm like
Bang!
yeah, but no, I've closed the door, so hopefully I don't get that happening that during this recording. So
Cool. Okay.
here's
Listen.
crossed.
So I got some good news, but it has dovetailed into a number of questions that I have for you. So the good
Awesome.
news is, as an emerging franchisor, we've hit a milestone that a lot of emerging franchisors don't get to hit. Our first franchisee agreement has come up for renewal, and the first franchisee also decided to renew. So that's great, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, wait, you gotta stop and do you have any confetti or
Betty
anything?
Cannons.
Woo! That's awesome. Congratulations. That's so,
But
so
like
cool.
it's important because it's not only is it the first renewal, but it's the first franchisee who is
That's very cool. That is actually really unusual. Like, to
we
be
did
honest,
something right, I guess, right?
what's that?
It means we did something right.
At least one thing, yeah, I'd say. And I mean, yeah, like for a franchise system to have gotten, yeah, usually that first franchisee's long gone by now. But unless they worked with us, because we would help that not happen, we'd get the right franchisee. But anyway, for you, that's awesome.
Bibbity bobbity boop. The fairy godmother ain't got nothing on you.
Okay.
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 Anyways,
Anyway, congratulations. That's really cool. It's a sign that they're happy with the way you support them and the business model and their profitability and all that. So I'm super excited for
it's
you.
all as a result of guidance from you, I must say.
Oh, okay. I'll take the
Cool.
as long as you give me a cut.
Listen, it got okay. It got me thinking about things, right? Specifically, what happens with franchisees that don't want to renew, right? Short of them letting their agreement lapse, right? There is the whole concept of succession planning. And I mean, as a franchisor, that's something you need to think about what happens when the agreement comes to an end. But also, if the agreement isn't coming to an end anytime soon, and you have a franchisee that maybe, sort of lost their spark or whatever, and you might mutually agree that they need to think about succession planning and moving on. This is like it's a huge conversation, and it takes months, sometimes years to sort that out. There's a number of things that need to happen. So franchisors, I think, need to begin this conversation with their franchisees now or regularly or something like that. So what do you got to bestow on me?
Okay, well, this is a great question because I actually think that you should be talking about it in the recruitment process. So like I think we might have ranted about this a long time ago, but now we're talking about it more in the context of Control V and just emerging brands and stuff. I think that we should be upfront about it. It's not a taboo subject, and it's not the same as like a divorce, or it shouldn't be. I mean, it will be if you don't plan. You want to plan for it so that people go into the arrangement with clarity that that's okay. Oh, my light just went out. Can you still see me? Anyway, I'll just leave that for now.
Okay.
So I will say that with as a franchisee, three stores. The first one we sold at a peak point. Awesome decision. It was just like we recognized that we were just busier than we want to be with really little kids and all that. But I think that people don't, do what they need to do, or like they just get scared to think about it. And if you ask me when we first opened how long we were going to do this for, I don't think we didn't have a plan. And I think we hoped that it would be our retirement money. But it can be unrealistic because you start to lose interest naturally at things. And I just think it's really important to catch that sooner, because I think if we had caught that sooner, our other two stores, we would have planned a better exit. So I'll just pause there, and I have more thoughts on this, but I just don't want to just rant alone. So
Yeah, well, I mean, that raises a question when you said about losing interest, right? When you're recruiting a franchisee, you're looking for somebody who's passionate about the brand, right? And so if they're losing interest, maybe they're losing interest in the brand or the operations or whatever it is. Do you feel that there's a level of liability on the franchisor to ensure that people are constantly passionate about it and innovating and things like that? Because that could go forever, right? You could be in like 100-year franchise being like, what are we going to do in year 101 to keep everyone jazzed, right?
yeah, it's interesting. My dad used to literally just go on his friendship tour where he would go visit stores. He would just ask franchisees, are you still having fun? And maybe that wasn't the big official strategy, but it was like, it's a good idea to keep it on the top of mind. So I think it's a great idea for the franchise business coach or whoever is supporting the franchisees to bring that conversation up probably on a maybe annual basis. Like, hey, let's do a check-in here. But also to have, I would recommend people make sure that they have an outside mentor. It doesn't have to be like a mentor that you meet with every week and you do accountability. That's great if you do. But even if you've just got someone in your life as a franchisee if you're a franchisee, that you've got someone in your life that understands kind of your business and your motivation a little bit and can help you stay accountable to keeping on top of that. I just want to circle back on something you said, like, as a franchisee, you sign on with, this passion for the brand, the people, the culture, the business model. When I say culture, it's like the mission and the core values. And what can happen is that stuff can change, right? Like I experienced as a franchisee, the business model changed a fair bit. And I didn't really love the new business model. And so it's not, it's a fact that that's going to happen, especially when there's 300 or 500 franchisees in this system. Unfortunately, don't all really get a voice on the model changing. It's going to have to do with, people in the franchise, but also your customer, what do they want? And so it's like, be honest with yourself about how aligned you feel with the culture. Has the culture changed? Has the company gotten new management? And if you don't feel aligned with them, the sooner you catch that and get honest with yourself and accept it, the better. And it's just so much better to, like I said, sell the business when it's at a peak than you've gone too far. Like
because when somebody's gone down that path, they're oftentimes not savable, or you need some sort of magician to do it. And then at that point, if they're starting to think about succession planning, you've got a lot of emotions that impact the decisions and the sale price and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. And what can happen is you kind of keep thinking that it's going to turn around. We'll stick it out a little longer. That's kind of what happened with us. We thought, okay, well, there's a new ownership team and you start to think, okay, well, they're promising this and that, and we're aligned with that, or we're not aligned, but we think we can handle not being aligned on that. The sooner you catch and start talking about it, like, it's not that the minute you feel it, you have to move on,
right?
But I think it's having a conversation with the franchisor and being okay with. That's why I think it's the franchisor's responsibility to open that up from the early stages. Like I said, even in the recruitment process, hey, we're going to be here for you when you are ready to move on. And we're going to tap you on the shoulder periodically and say, are you having fun yet? Are you still passionate? Especially if we see your sales declining or, your performance going down.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question, is like, whose responsibility is it, right? Like if you train your franchisees on succession planning and then you just kind of like, all right, let me know if you want to sell, when you want to sell, and then we'll work at it from there. That may not be top of mind, especially if they have a business to run day to day,
It's exactly that. It's like it slips away from you without realizing. It's kind of like, a relationship that you don't nurture or something, where you all of a sudden one day you wake up and you go, wait, what happened here? Like, you've got to stay on top of it. And again, like, just stop kidding yourself that it's just going to get better without change. Like, no, if you're starting to feel it, it's for a reason. You probably should be.
Yeah. And I'd almost go as far as saying, if you aren't having those discussions just naturally or organically, you probably are also not having a lot of other important discussions that you should be having as a franchisor.
That might be a red flag.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Did I answer your question?
You did.
3, 2, 1.
Go be awesome.